Hi guys, welcome to another live stream. So I'm streaming from my home in Auckland, New Zealand, and we're currently in lockdown here, the highest level of lockdown, at least for another week, I think. But we've got time to spend at home and may as well make use of it when we're not rushing around so much. We may have concerns and uncertainty, but we do have some time and we can make use of it, make the most of our lockdown. So let's begin. So if you haven't seen my meditations before, I did do a previous live guided meditation, which was a basic good one for beginners. And this one we will be sort of building a bit on top of that, going into our sense of self and exploring that. So to begin, as I usually mention, just make sure you're seated in a comfortable position with your back upright. So if you're on a chair, you don't want to be leaning with your back against the backrest, you want to be off it. And if you're sitting on the ground like me, you should probably get something to prop up your seat. So I've got a meditation cushion that I'm sitting on, and if you've got a meditation cushion, just sort of roll forward a little bit so your hips and your legs and your knees drop. That should hopefully make it easier if your knees are lower and your hips are higher. So once you've got a comfortable position with an upright back, just settle in. Make sure there's no pressure points. Over time, you'll get more and more used to this position. I really struggled with it in the beginning. I've also done a video on my channel about setting up your seating position for the best results. So now just closing our eyes gently. Just becoming aware without any tension or any excess concentration. We're just being aware of our bodily sensations, bringing the attention to within. Now just start with 3 deep breaths. So each breath we try to breathe deep into our belly through our nose and then out through our mouth, and then relax everything, all the tension in your shoulders and neck when we breathe out. So let's do the first one. Breathing in and out. Just relax. Breathing in and relax. One more, and this time really just let go of all the tension while remaining upright and making sure we're breathing and expanding into our bellies. Breathing in and out. Just relax everything. Now just noticing the breath naturally coming in and out, We're not trying to control it. It's just happening by itself, just completely naturally. Feel the sensations of air coming in, body expanding, and then air coming out. It's the ebb and the flow, like waves on a beach. So with a smile on our face, we just notice some of the sensations of our body. Oftentimes, when we're rushing around doing things, we don't always notice small tensions, stiffness in our body. So just paying attention to the weight on your seat, the weight of your body completely relaxed and upright. Feeling of your hands on your lap. Sensations of your face and your lips. Eyes gently closed. Now just noticing what's going on in our minds. Noticing if there's thoughts, just letting them be. Noticing if there's no thoughts, just letting that be. Whatever comes, whatever doesn't come, we can accept it. There's nothing to make of it or add to it. It's just thoughts. Whatever we need to do today or what we've been doing, we can put those down right now. They don't really serve us. We've made this time to explore something else within us. It's nothing we expect. We simply observe. The mind may wander here and there. That's okay. Just like the lungs breathe and the heart beats, the brain simply thinks. We don't need to try to stop it or make it silent, try to concentrate. We don't need to do any of those things, because just like the other parts of the body have a job, the brain is just doing its job. We don't need to get involved with it. You can simply watch it come and go. Keeping our attention gently on the contents of the mind. Watch it become more and more still and empty. Start to notice the space. Start to notice that thoughts come less frequently, or perhaps not at all. The more we pay attention to the silence, the vast emptiness that exists before anything else, the more vivid it becomes, the more spacious. The gaps between thoughts become longer and longer until there is continuous peace. There's nothing to make of this peace. It is simply here. There's nothing to add to it. Right now, there's nothing you could add, or create, or think about that could improve it. This emptiness, silence, this peace is untouchable. We simply watch it. The mind may drift away into thoughts or become dull. That's okay. We simply bring our attention back to our breathing, which is always occurring naturally, and then we gently move it back to the space in our mind. Now notice, along with this peace and stillness, there may be a sense of looking at it. But what is looking at it? Is there something watching? Is there a self or a soul? Do we feel that there is a sense of I that is experiencing all this, that is doing the watching? Or is there simply watching? If there is any feeling of a self or an I, a separate I from what is being observed, let us turn our attention to this I. Where is it? Who is it? Do not make any ideas about it or assumptions, judgments. Simply put our attention closer and closer to the sense of I, sense of self. We can try to answer the question of who is this self, not through an idea or a concept or a judgment about it. We can try to explore it experientially by simply chasing it with our attention. See if we can convince ourselves whether there is a self or there isn't one, by placing our attention closer and closer to it. Perhaps you feel that this I is somewhere inside your head. Looking out. Keep placing your attention on the sense of self wherever you feel it. We don't need to make any ideas about it. As I mentioned, this is simply exploring through experience only, not through ideas. Notice what comes up for you when you do this. Is there confusion? Do more thoughts come up? If so, try to explore where that confusion comes from, where the thoughts come from. Focus less on the confusion and thoughts and more on where does it come from, and if it goes away, where did it go away to? If there are thoughts that come up, again, just return to breathing and then back to your thoughts, the contents of your mind. We do this gently so that we don't create more agitation, and continue to explore this sense of self. If there is a sense of boredom, tiredness, see if you can find where that boredom or tiredness abides. Where did it come from? It arises and then it disappears. From what? Into what? There's feelings of questioning whether you're doing this right, agitation about it. Again, simply let that go. Use that material to examine the source of it all. From what does it appear, and to what does it vanish? And one last insight. So as we notice this silence, free from any personality, memories, thinking about the future or the past, without any of this, the experience you are having now is essentially the same as if anyone else was having it. Free from any personal, relative opinions or judgments. It is the same core awareness that we share when it is freed from mind-created illusions. And so with that insight, you can choose to continue, or we can do one more deep breath. And out. And open our eyes. So I hope you enjoyed that meditation and experienced some peace and tranquility. And remember, you can return to this at any time, any place. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.